Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see how to express proper fractions. So let us start with an example here. I want to take this example to illustrate this proper fraction. Proper fraction. The example is as follows. Express the shaded portion as a proper fraction. Let me draw this figure here. I have a square and I'm going to divide this into 4 equal parts like that. Part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4 like that. And then I'm going to come back and then shade one part of this figure, and now I'm going to express this as a proper fraction. The steps I want to follow here are as follows. Step number one. There are 4 parts to this figure. There are 4 parts. 4 parts to this figure. In the things we want to recognize are follows. In this figure, there are 4 parts. As step number 2, 1 out of the 4 parts are shaded. 1 out of 4 parts, 1 out of 4 parts are shaded. Then, as step number 3, we want to say, in terms of fraction, 1 over 4. In terms of fraction, we can write this whole thing as a fraction. 1 part of the total of 4 parts is shaded. This is 1 part, and then this number here is total of 4 parts. So 1 part is shaded out of the total of 4 parts. Since the numerator, as step number 4, we can come back and then state as step number 4, since the numerator, I'm going to represent numerator as NR, the numerator part is less than the denominator. I'm going to represent the denominator as dr, the denominator part. Since the numerator part is less than the denominator part, therefore it is a proper fraction. Therefore, step number 5, we can write it as since the numerator part is less than the denominator part, therefore 1 over 4 is a proper fraction. Proper fraction. That is how we want to be able to understand these types of examples. Let's take another example. In this example, I'm going to take a rectangle this time and then be able to represent it as a proper fraction. In here, the rectangle looks like this. A rectangle is a geometric figure where it has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. And in this figure, I'm going to divide it up into 6 parts. 6 parts like that. I'm going to come back and then write this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 parts in here. Out of this 6 parts, I'm going to shade 5 parts of it. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts of it. So as step number 1, as a first step, the rectangle, we want to recognize the rectangle has 6 parts to it. This is a rectangle. This is a rectangle and it has 6 parts to it. Okay, and as step 2, we want to say 5 out of the 6 parts are shaded. 5 out of the 6 parts are shaded. 5 out of the 6 parts are shaded. And as step number 3, we want to say in terms of a fraction, 5 over 6 is a proper fraction. In terms of fraction, we can write this one as 5 parts out of the total of 6 parts. 5 parts out of the total of 6 parts, we can write this as a fraction as follows. Since, as step number 4, since the numerator is less than the denominator, since the numerator number is less than the denominator number, therefore this is a proper fraction. This is a proper fraction. The definition of a proper fraction is the numerator is always less than the denominator, and therefore this is a proper fraction. In my next presentation, we shall see how to represent some more proper fractions.